In the heart of the village of Z, beneath the shade of towering baobab trees, there stood a school revered by all. It was known as Baobab Learning House, a place where the village's brightest minds came to study. The school wasn't just a place of learning. It was a symbol of excellence. Parents told stories of the school's alumni who went on to achieve greatness in distant cities and powerful kingdoms. To attend Baobab Learning House was not just an education. It was a badge of honor. Lindiwe, a 16-year-old girl, longed to walk through the gates of that school. She was known throughout the village for her intelligence, grace, and the beauty that shone from her dark skin, braided hair, and bright smile. But despite all the praise she received, there was one thing that held her back: math. No matter how much Lindiwe studied, no matter how many nights she spent by the light of the oil lamp, the numbers refused to add up. Her mother, Amal, a woman known for her strict discipline and unyielding expectations, would often remind her, a person who seeks greatness must be willing to carry the weight of responsibility. Her father's quiet, disappointed sighs made her feel like she was failing not just herself, but her whole family. The pressure to succeed grew heavier with each passing day. But Lindiwe was determined. If she could pass the dreaded math exams, she knew she could fulfill her dreams. She could be like the others who had walked the same path and emerged victorious. The promise of a future where her name would be etched in the annals of success drove her forward, though the road ahead seemed fraught with obstacles. But as she would soon learn, not all paths to success are straightforward. Some require more than just hard work. They demand sacrifices that can change a person forever. Lindiwe spent countless hours trying to conquer math. Each evening, after completing the chores at home, she would retreat to her small room, the only light coming from a flickering oil lamp. She would pore over her textbooks, her eyes growing tired, her mind weary from the constant battle with equations. No matter how many times she tried, the numbers seemed to dance around her, mocking her every effort. Her classmates noticed her struggle, and though they spoke of her brilliance in other subjects, they couldn't help but gossip about her poor performance in math. Lindiwe is great at everything else, but she can't solve a simple equation. They would whisper behind her back. The teasing, though light-hearted, stung. The whispers felt like weights around her neck, dragging her down further with each passing day. One evening, as Lindiwe sat outside under the wide branches of the baobab tree, her thoughts were interrupted by a voice. It was Kofi, an elder from the village, who often sat beneath the tree in the evenings to reflect on life. His face was weathered by time, and his eyes held the wisdom of generations. Lindiwe, he called gently, do not let the weight of your struggle blind you to the lessons it can teach you. Lindiwe looked up, startled. She had never expected him to notice her struggle. But I don't understand, she said quietly, her voice tinged with frustration. No matter how hard I try, I fail. Kofi smiled kindly, his voice soothing as the wind rustling the leaves above. The road to wisdom is not always straight, child. Just like the river that bends and twists through the valley, you too must learn to navigate the obstacles in your path. There is a proverb we live by in our village. The journey to wisdom is never straight, but if you know the stones in your path, you can step over them. Tell me, what stones do you see in your path, Lindiwe? Lindiwe paused, her mind racing. Math is the stone in my path. No matter how much I study, I cannot seem to conquer it. Kofi nodded thoughtfully. The stone you see is not the stone that will block your path forever. It is a challenge. Yes, but challenges are the tools that shape us. Embrace them, and they will no longer be obstacles but stepping stones to your future. The next morning, Lindiwe walked into the classroom with a new resolve. She would not let math defeat her. She would meet it head-on. But as she sat down at her desk, she felt a strange unease. There was something different about the way Mr. Kwame, the math teacher, was looking at her today. Mr. Kwame was a man of few words, known throughout the village as a teacher who pushed his students to excel. His quiet demeanor commanded respect, and his gaze could make even the most confident student nervous. Today, however, his eyes lingered on Lindiwe longer than usual. It wasn't the stern look she had come to expect, but something softer, something more intimate. Lindiwe tried to shake off the feeling as she focused on the lesson, but every time she glanced up, she caught Mr. Kwame staring at her. It was unsettling, and she couldn't understand why. Was she imagining things? As the class went on, Mr. Kwame asked Lindiwe to come to the front to solve an equation. Her hands trembled as she approached the blackboard, and a familiar sense of dread washed over her. She stared at the numbers, feeling the weight of the entire class's eyes on her. For a moment, she forgot how to think, how to breathe. "Take your time, Lindiwe." Mr. Kwame's voice was soft, almost gentle. "No need to rush. Wisdom comes to those who wait." Lindiwe's heart pounded in her chest as she struggled to make sense of the problem. But she couldn't. The numbers blurred before her eyes, mocking her failure. The class was silent, waiting for her to solve it. The only sound was her heavy breathing, and then Mr. Kwame's voice again. "You will find the answer, Lindiwe. I know you will." If you enjoyed this story, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button below. Tap the notification bell so you never miss new episodes. And don't forget to like and share if this story touched you. Your support helps us keep bringing you more amazing African tales. See you in the next story.